So some evil, repugnant, inbred-looking, cowardly motherfucker named Robin Westman decided to wake up and take all the hatred, the bigotry, the racism, and the black hole where their hearts should be, and they decide, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go target some children at a Catholic church school in Minneapolis. That's the kind of evilness that is in this fucking country. Evilness that people need to be able to keep an eye on. Evilness that needs to be stamped the fuck out. It is fucking abhorrent that this keeps fucking happening. If it's a day that ends in Y, there's a school shooting. It's fucking ridiculous. It has been ridiculous well before Sandy Hook, going back to fucking Columbine, going back so many goddamn years. It is so ridiculous that the whole thoughts and prayers thing is the only thing that so many cowardly, spineless, gutless motherfuckers can go with. They can only go with that. You know why? Because they don't have the guts to admit that they are spineless. They are worthless. They are fucking pathetic. And they are part of the fucking problem. You take a look at this Robin Westman. You take a look at the manifestos, by the way, that are on social media. You can go to Twitter. You can go to Google. You can see the level of hate that was inside the black hole that was Robin Westman. And I say was because just read up on it. But two children's lives were taken out. Taken well before their time. It is so fucking ridiculous. You had over a dozen children that were injured by this cowardly, repugnant-looking motherfucker. And then you have somebody like Trey Gowdy from Fox News that basically said, well, at least they were in a religious school, so they were closer to Jesus. Well, if Jesus was so goddamn good, if Jesus was so good and so pure and could take care of people, why doesn't Jesus or God or any deity that you guys believe in take care of these frickin' freaks? And that's what they are. They're all freaks. And if you don't think it's the guns, you're part of the fucking problem. If you don't think it's stupid people with guns, you're even a bigger part of the fucking goddamn problem. This is so fucking infuriating. I was in school when Columbine happened. And it fucking terrified me. We were on alert. And then years after I graduated high school, there was a shooting there. Marysville Pilchuck. Look it up, folks. The fact is this is so commonplace that no amount of thoughts and prayers ever has fucking worked. Thoughts and prayers have never stopped any bullets. They've never healed any hearts. That is not how this shit is going to get fixed. The only way it's going to get fixed is for people in positions of power, so that rules out the White House, because they're all a bunch of goddamn NRA-funded fuckwits. We have to start at the goddamn basic level, the state level. We have to do what we can to make sure that children are safe. However you feel about children, however you feel about organized goddamn religion. It is so ridiculous. I am almost on the verge of fucking losing it, because every time you turn around and you see that children's lives being snuffed out for what? For what reason? Like the Sandy Hook thing. When Sandy Hook happened and there wasn't gun control, that's when I knew that so many people... By the way, if anybody happens to be a supporter of the NRA and you are watching this, get out. Get the fuck out. You are the biggest part of the goddamn problem. I am so infuriated looking at these news reports and looking at this stuff, and I can't put my head in the goddamn sand. I can't do that anymore. Nobody can goddamn do that. I haven't been doing that. But the thing is what infuriates me so much about this is I'm not religious at all, but the fact that these children just wanted an education, they wanted to get the education their way, whatever, however they wanted to parlay that and, grow and everything, they don't get a chance to do that. The parents, I feel bad for the parents. It's like the Uvalde shooting with the cowardly police, and I would say that to the policeman's face. I would say that to the police chief, all the people there, all that stuff going on. So many of these shootings, so many were preventable. But no, you have a bunch of ballless, spineless, gutless cowards. And then you just have people that just are like, oh, well, we just need to pray it away. Well, praying it away ain't fucking working. You know what will fucking work? Actual goddamn gun control. You can do something, even if this is a bigger country than, say, Australia, New Zealand, and other ones where there's less gun violence. You can do something about it, but the thing is not enough people in positions of power will, because they're NRA-funded fuckwits that deserve nothing but the most abhorrent of scorn. They deserve every bit of scorn that they are fucking getting. You know why they fucking deserve it? Because they're cowardly. Because they know that they are part of the problem. But the blood of all these children is on their hands. And honest to God, no matter how much we try, we are stuck dealing with stupid fuckwits like Robin Westman and so many other shooters. But you know what? One day, smartness will triumph over pure stupidity and evil. It's just a shame that so many innocent children's lives have been lost because of that. So I feel bad for the children. I do. I feel bad for the parents. I feel bad for the community. I feel bad for anybody that has been affected by school shootings. But if you happen to not want gun control, if you think that they're trying to take away your guns, you're just as much of an inbred hillbilly as a lot of people that think, oh, the government's going to do something bad about it. The government's going to do something. The government ain't going to do shit, Cletus. So I hope that this has gotten through to you guys. I really hope it has. Because I'm just so sick of just knowing that at any given point, innocent children could be mowed down because of hatred, an infuriating amount of evil, and it can be stamped out. But the fact is, it's going to take a team effort. There's a bunch of people that are playing for the wrong fucking team. So I'm John Rentham with my review of AEW Dynamite from the old ECW arena, the 2300 arena. I decided to include that in this video because I'm going to say a few probably nasty things about this show. But I had to I had to say that. I had to fucking say that. So, anyway, this was not a good show, and I'm going to explain why. They can't stay out of their own way. They're coming out of a forbidden door, and I'm going to tell you guys right now before I go any further, I'm going to reiterate this. If you don't see a lot of AEW reviews in the month of September, it is because I have extra work. I have some appointments and meetings and stuff that I need to take care of. So if you just see all-out predictions and all-out, the all-out review, that might be all you see. I don't know. We'll see about that. But, so audio issues straight out of Barely Legal 97. Ospreay will be out for at least a year. And FTR got in fans' faces. Whatever. They had around 916 people, according to WrestleTix. It was interesting how they shot it. And there were shut the fuck up chants. Paul Turner is to blame, apparently, because the illegal man was there. Because, FTR getting upset at a referee and getting fined and everything before. That was done just recently. And then they're doing it again because they're repeating and chewing their food twice. So, Paul's wife is apparently there. They didn't shoot her in the crowd. Stokely tries to fire back, but he's bald and he's short and he has no hose and he also is not intimidating. And Paul bows back up. Then Copeland makes his entrance, is looking for Christian Cage, and then Christian Cage attacks from behind and hits the kill switch on Stokely. You see, Stokely can be a halfway decent manager, but he was never utilized that well in WWE. He hasn't really been utilized all that well in AEW until recently, and it's just, the damage has been done. So anyway, we get some refs and security and some brawling, and Cage basically tries to insult the fathers of Dax and Cash, but Copeland tries to get him to stop, and then it's going to be a tag match at All Out. That's basically it. And then Darby paints All Out in his blood on a white thing. Well, are you willing to die for this while piano music plays? And he burned the blood painting. If Darby wants to die doing this stupid shit. Whatever. Moxley then goes through the crowd with Marina, who belongs on the Indies, and Yuta, who belongs on the other side with the fans. Except the original ECW crowd probably would have honestly eaten him alive. So it's Moxley versus Daniel Garcia. Menard then joined later because we need more jokes at ringside. And I know that he is apparently Garcia's friend. He was signed to a new contract and fine, he's getting paid. He wasn't on commentary, so it wasn't quite as egregious, but seriously, Garcia, they gotta stop with this. I'm not saying don't utilize Garcia or use him on TV, but stop thinking that this kid's going to be a main event. He's not. He's never going to be a main event talent. There's fuck you Yuta chants. And Shafir was also there trying to be intimidating. She is not cut out to be on a nationwide broadcast. She is not. She shit the bed in WWE. She has not gotten any better here. She can do fine at shows in Seattle, in front of like 450 to 500 people. But whatever. A roll-up won it. And then they thought, okay, Garcia, lost via roll-up and everything. Maybe we could try to recruit him. No, he can't do that. And who thought it was a good idea to give Yuta a mic? I mean, I said what I said in Forbidden Door. Said what I said before. I'm not even going to get upset about it at this point because it is a rib. It is literally a rib. It is Bischoff Flair. It is Nash and Bill Goldberg. It's Bill Goldberg and Bret Hart. It's, it's Tully and Dusty Rhodes' booking. It is Ole versus everyone. It is me versus Yuta at this point. And I'm not saying I can whoop Yuta's ass. I'm not going to challenge him. I'm a fan. That's all I am. But I've seen plenty of fans at indie shows. They could beat the shit out of Yuta without even breaking a sweat. They thought it was a good idea to give him a mic. I heard his voice for 5 fucking seconds, and I thought, maybe Vince saying what he said to Shane should be channeled to, like somebody should say that to Yuta. I'll never forgive your mother for giving birth to you. Hook is back. Or Hook. And, yeah. Hook, looks like he's lived in the gym for a bit. He's put on some size. He choked out Yuta. Yuta flopped around like a fish because he can't wrestle or sell or do anything right. And there we go. That's about it right there. And then MJF challenged Briscoe, or is coming for Briscoe, gross, and the title. And he must basically say his contract must be, signed a week before he's going to cash it in. Okay. I mean, I don't know why they did it with that, and they didn't do it with Athena doing that, but then again, Athena said before that she was going to cash in her contract, and that was like at least a few weeks in advance, but okay. Statlander and Harley Cameron took on Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, and so it was 3 and Ford. Ford is just not good. I'm sorry. She's not. She's never going to be good. I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. I know she was out for a bit. She had a personal issue, and also I think she went back to school, and that's fine. Cool. Maybe she realizes this wrestling thing isn't cut out, she's not cut out for it. So, basically, Statlander ends up, ties up Ford and taps her out. There are worse ways to go. And Megan and Statlander brawl briefly. Willow tries to help. I think the booking needs to be helped. I know that they aren't going to introduce women's tag titles for a bit, but still. Renee is with Mercedes for her 9-belt celebration. Apparently, we are getting Mercedes versus Windsor. Mercedes insulting Ospreay, his injury and stuff like that, when she stumbled and busted her ankle doing something stupid on a New Japan show because she's clueless. This 9-belt thing has not worked. The instant Mercedes starts talking, she's fake. I don't want to hear her. So, Briscoe has his new kid. Congrats to having his new kid. I wish him nothing but happiness and health. And he hands the kid off. Basically, this is stuff the kid shouldn't hear, and go over there. It's like a renovated garage, I assume, on the Delaware ranch that they have, or farm, or whatever it is. And he will light MJF up, and he's also challenging Kyle Fletcher because apparently they're 2-2, and it's for the TNT title at some point. All right. Callis then basically took Vicky Guerrero's "excuse me" shtick and catchphrase. Hopefully he's not a Benoit apologist like Vicky is. Wardlow is toast. Stick a fork in him. I like Wardlow, but stick a fork in him. And then Takeshita, Okada, Alexander, a.k.a. Josh Alexander, and Hechicero took on Brodito and Jet Speed, and it's an all-star 8-man tag. You can't just put 8 men in a match and call them an all-star. Hey, now you're an all-star. Oh, Jet Speed got paid. And then, hey, now you're a rock star. Alexander rolled up and pinned fuck you Speedball. So there you go. There you go for that. Takeshita needs to take that title from Okada, and they need to make Okada work harder, bitch. Hangman wishes Ospreay the best, apologizes to him for what's happened since All In, and we will all miss you. Hopefully you can come back and beat me for the title. Hangman ain't going to be having that title by the time Ospreay comes back. Ospreay will not be back for at least 9 months. And that's like, you know, really like the best case scenario. I mean, that's if he rushes it. So MJF failed at Forbidden Door, and that if he tries to sign the contract, he will beat his ass before the ink dries. Callis shows up. Oh boy, we need more Don Callis on the show. We really don't, but evidently Khan does. And you're going to face one of my men. Well, then some of the men attack, and then Hangman attacks, but he's outnumbered. Here's Jet Speed. Callis hands Rocky Romero a baton. I did not even realize that was Rocky Romero. Like, I don't recognize him unless he's in a loud jacket. Here's Kenny Omega to a big pop, and they hit the buckshot trigger, and that's it. I mean, what, Archer, poor Archer. Why can't you hit it on goddamn Rocky? I mean, Rocky can take the bump. Tony and Mina Shirakawa. Shirakawa vows to beat Athena, and also Athena is vowing to toss Shirakawa off the goddamn 2300 arena. And then she references the Blue Meanie and Sandman, who are 2 of the only living ECW talents left. And then the OPPs, yeah, you know me, took on the Rico Gates, and later MVP showed up and cracked Rico Gate, or Ricochet rather, with his cane. And Ricochet got hit with a spine buster, a kick, and then the choke. And then the Syndicate jumped the gates. Yeah, if you've noticed, I'm just skipping over a lot of this stuff because realistically, if they don't put these pay-per-views on goddamn Max soon, I'm going to have some problems. I'm really going to have some goddamn problems. And then Darby took on Claudio in a Falls Count Anywhere match in Philly. That's so original. So Darby basically jumps Claudio in the back, and then he gets tossed into a little trailer area, and then he gets put in a shopping cart, and then he gets slammed through a big old TV. I met Darby at multiple indie shows, and he treated me well, and he treated a lot of fans well, and he was always good with kids and stuff like that. Any kids that had the half-face paint like that. But Darby's an idiot with taking these bumps. If he wants to bleed out and do this shit, fine. But it's going to be really hard to root for him if he's just going to continue to do this stuff. Because sooner or later, his bump card is going to expire, and he's not going to be able to get back up. So we get the press slam into the announcer's table spot. He took it harder than Javon Evans did. Not that Javon Evans took it soft, but just the way they did it, it was probably a little safer. And they're showing tweets from fans during the show now. We got 2 tables. Claudio ended up going through one. And then he threw Darby onto a chair pile. And then got slammed into an exposed buckle. A code red, but that was a kick out. 2 coffin drops. And then here's Gabe Mid. Why is Gabe Mid here? That is his name. Because Gabe Kidd couldn't win a fight against half that crowd. And also apparently has really pissed off New Japan. because New Japan had big plans for him. I don't know why. And he went out of the G1 after, like, what, 1 or 2 matches, something like that. But then he suddenly was at Forbidden Door and stuff like that, so they might fire him. So he better hope that Tony Khan's paychecks will continue to clear. Darby runs out, by the way, at this point. But, yeah, Gabe Mid certainly going to limit his options, because I guarantee you WWE wouldn't take a look at him, and it's going to be even worse, because he wouldn't be able to go there because of the stuff with Mariah May. You know, accusing her of ruining people's lives. You know, people that were pests. But that's okay. Gabe Mid would be the kind of guy to, you know, go with the bad people instead of the good people, because he's a weird-looking crackhead motherfucker that just swears for no reason. So that being said, that is it. If I don't review next week's Dynamite, don't be surprised. I got stuff to do Thursday and Friday. You know, appointments and also more movies and stuff like that. And I'm kind of burned out. I might just take a bit of a wrestling break and just do all out. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Retlin, and in closing, I really do hope that the parents get justice. The parents that lost those children. The parents that had the injured children. I hope they get some form of justice. They won't get it from the administration in the White House because they don't give a shit. But I really do hope that more parents can find justice and we can stop having this shit happen. Children can be safe. People can be safe at shopping malls, at movie theaters, anywhere. Without fucking idiots doing this shit. That being said, I'm John Retlin, and I'll see y'all soon.